India breaks Australia's longest winning streak in Women's World Cup history, 15 games, as India power their way into their third ICC 50-over World Cup final as they knock Australia out. Jemimah Rodrigues is 127 in a record chase. Pretty amazing. Time to recap a wonderful and exciting semi-final. In front of a packed crowd, Harmanpreet lost her seventh toss of the World Cup, with Australia opting to bat. Alyssa Healy went early and then the rain hit literally the next delivery. Post the rain break, Phoebe Litchfield and Elise Perry were able to stitch together a very important innings and partnership. 155 runs stand between the two of them, with Phoebe Litchfield notching up her first World Cup ton, which came up to 119. Perry played a wonderful anchor role. Unfortunately, she got out before triple figures, and Ash Gardner did what she normally does, 63 off 45 balls. However, Australia didn't put the icing on the cake. They probably left 20 runs out there. They did score an impressive total of 338. Sri Trani was the standout bowler again for India. In reply, India lost Shafali Verma early. Then Smriti Mandana was surprised to be dismissed. Jemimah and Harmanpreet Kaur were able to combine nicely and a record third wicket stand of 167. This is where the game shifted into the Indian hands. Jemimah Rodrigues scored 127 not out, with good support from Dipti Sharma, Richa Ghosh, Amanjot Kaur, and India mowed down the target of 339, with all Australian bowlers expensive and all going above 6 runs per over. A couple of moments in the match, 167 run partnership with Jemimah and Harmanpreet, the first 150 plus stand for India in World Cup knockouts. What I really liked was that Jemimah Rodrigues was able to be really busy. That's basically what she does. She does that so well. And then as soon as Harmanpreet Kaur came, she was able to that allowed her to get herself in. Then they were able to milk plenty of singles into that mid-wicket region against the spinners, especially Alana King, who has been the soul destroyer for most oppositions. And then you saw a little switch when Harmanpreet Kaur, her backlift started to go even higher, and she thought, I've got an understanding of the conditions. I know how to take down the Aussies. I've done it before. And she was the one that really accelerated that partnership. And that was the key difference between the two sides. Well, sometimes you need a little bit of luck. And you don't often see this by an Australian team, especially in knockout games. But Australia dropped 2 chances, and it was off Jemimah Rodrigues. The first one was Alyssa Healy, the skied ball off Alana King, that she was on 82 at the time. And then Talia McGrath put her down again at 106. This absolutely cost Australia an opportunity to find themselves in another final. I would imagine there was not a dry eye last night as everyone witnessed Jemimah Rodrigues take India home on the world stage in front of a packed crowd. I know we talk about Harmanpreet Kaur's 171 knock 8 years ago against the very same opposition, but there's something quite different between the two knocks. I think back then it was about India being able to beat Australia. That hadn't happened very often. And now obviously these two teams have a wonderful rivalry. But what impressed me the most about Jemimah Rodrigues is the fact that, remember, she was dropped against England. Now, she's the type of person that takes it really well, does the right thing for the team. She gave us an insight in the Player of the Match interview that literally she has been crying every day. She has struggled with mental health. She was very open about that. So to be able to come out in a semi-final against Australia, get elevated to number 3, and then have the composure, that takes a lot of resilience. What I really enjoyed about her innings was her busyness, her ability to kind of keep changing where she was on the crease to disrupt the Australians. Her positivity is infectious. Her tears at the end were also infectious. I think actually it goes back to self-belief of an individual and then the team. And that's led largely by the skippers. Laura Woolver was able to do it for South Africa with individual performance and then also how she composed herself on the field. The same thing can be said for India's Harmanpreet Kaur. Her innings with Jemimah Rodrigues was really the difference. And then you saw the tears of emotion pouring out of Harmanpreet Kaur, and it was a sense of relief because all of the sacrifice, all of the hard work, all of the years training, building up has finally happened for both teams. And I think moving forward for both of the sides, the lesson for a final is to enjoy it. You've worked so hard to get there, and on the world stage, just enjoy that moment because it is a rarity to play in a World Cup final. And then you've got to stay in control of your emotions. Stay calm, focused, relaxed. Be in the moment, be present, and then allow yourself an opportunity to showcase your skills. It's time for the grand finale. India and South Africa, they're chasing their maiden World Cup title. For South Africa, it's their third consecutive ICC finals. And for them, they'll feel like, given that they've beaten India in the group stage, it is their time. For India, it's their third World Cup final. And whilst they could have won in 2017, you feel that all the stars are aligning nicely. They've had to fight their way through this World Cup to get to this position. Both teams, South Africa and India, have played their best games of cricket in the semi-final. No doubt it would have sapped all their energy and emotion in playing their best cricket in the semi-finals. Now they get to restart, both teams on the same page. Both finals were fought really hard. Probably South Africa a little bit more cruisier than India. However, India had the home ground advantage and the crowd will be very, very vocal. Players to watch out for South Africa, I have to go back to Laura Woolver and Marizanne Kapp. They did an exceptional job in the semi-finals. Laura Woolver's innings was one of the best I've seen. Can they reproduce it? I do think they'll need someone like a Sune Luce to kind of step in. Can a Non-Kululeko Malaba, can she have an impact in the game as well? In terms of India, it feels like it's shared, doesn't it? I know Jemimah Rodrigues would have spent a lot of emotion on that innings, but the confidence that she will gain from that, Smriti Mandana, it kind of feels like the World Cup final, Smriti Mandana, big 100 is kind of there for the taking. In terms of the bowlers, Sri Chani has been excellent. And I think that with the fact that she can hone in on those stumps will be really difficult for the South African players. It is going to be an absolute spectacle. It's going to be packed at the stadiums, and I can't wait to see who lifts the trophy.